What's up, CEOs? I hope everything is working as it's supposed to be because I got some stuff to tell you today. So let me know in the comments if you can't hear me. If you're watching right now, you're probably watching the replay. So let me know you're watching the replay by just typing replay in the comments. So hey, CEOs, today we are talking about how to sell used cars to make a living. What's up, Francisco? Let me know who you are as you come in. It really does improve like my delivery in these videos if I know who's there and you talk back to me. So good morning, Francisco. I'm just able to give you a different kind of energy because I really want to give you some good stuff today. I've been getting a lot of questions in strategy sessions about like how to sell used cars to make a living. And since even if you haven't booked a strategy session yet, what's up, Judah? Then this is going to be kind of like a preview, right? If you were wondering like, how do I sell used cars and make a living? Then that's what we're going to talk about today. So before I do that, let me introduce myself. I'm Shamel Leonard, and I'm the founder of the Auto Dealer Business School. And I have a used car dealership that I am growing to $1 million in revenue. I started the Auto Dealer Business School because when I was starting out, I was like, this is crazy. And there are no resources for small dealers to figure this out like quickly and on a budget. And there needs to be, because there are lots of people, including myself, getting this business, and I'm losing money learning these lessons and making these mistakes. So what can we do about this? And I was like, okay, Auto Dealer Business School, that's exactly what needs to happen. And I started with just what worked for me in my business and sharing that. Like, if we don't take care of each other, who will, right? 1 million and counting. Yes, Judah. So this is me taking care of my people. I'm paying it forward. I have mentoring programs for you to join, to get licensed, to grow your business to 6 figures, and to grow your business to $1 million, because I'm about to crack that code. All right. So I also want to say before I get started that I have an online free workshop coming up soon. And the title of that is how to buy and sell your first 5 cars. So that's the topic that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to go through how to get licensed, how to calculate your break-even point, the purchase and sales process so you can buy your first 5 cars and sell your first 5 cars, how to systemize, how to staff, and how to reach 6 figures and $1 million in 12 months or less in this economy. Okay, because I understand that we are dealing with some interesting-ish. Okay, so let me get into it. How to sell used cars to make a living. So sometimes when I'm thinking about like what I'm going to talk about, after I plan it out, because I actually do plan these out because I want to give you the very best of what I'm talking about. And so when I'm planning these out, I'm like, can it be this simple? Like, is it really this simple? So I'm hoping that you are picking up what I'm putting down, because the first thing you need to do to sell used cars and make a living is to be intentional about making a living. You have to be intentional about making a living. You have to be intentional about your business making a living. Okay, so you have to start this business, or you have to move from this day forward saying, look, I am going to pay myself from my business, and I'm going to pay myself well, and I am going to make a living. Okay, so that's number one. And like when I started writing it down, I was like, yeah, that is what came to me, really. That is the first step. I don't know who needs to hear this, but somebody does. You have to make it the point to make a living. And then you have to say, okay, well, what is the living that I want to make? Right? Roll it. The Quan money is here. Yes. What is the living you want to make? Meaning, how much money do you want to make each month, each year? I've started being more intentional And I've started planning out my whole year and all my spending and like stuff that I want to do is for the house, for whatever, you know, my kids, like how much money is that going to be? What do I need to make, including what my monthly expenses are for myself, right? We're just talking about taking care of your own self, right? So I've started like planning out the whole year, vacations, how much money I'm going to spend, shopping, you know, whatever it is, right? Taking care of family members and then working my way backwards from there. So if that's the case, then this is how much I need to bring in this year. And then after that step, okay, so that's step 2. First is being intentional. Second is defining what the living is that you're making. And then the third step is, so then how many cars do I need to sell to make that? Right? Now, this step is not just about what to pay yourself, right? Because how many cars you need to sell to make that includes paying yourself. It includes paying your overhead as well. And your overhead includes, of course, your location, all of your monthly expenses, your insurance, your phone, internet, your DMS. We're going to walk through all the things that you pay for in your business in this online workshop as well. So definitely sign up for it. I'll put the link in the description. So it's not just, well, let me sell as many cars as I need to make the money to pay myself, because you could pay yourself and then you don't have, you know, you didn't pay your rent for your office or your mortgage for your office, right? So it also includes your overhead. So you had to add those two things together. So your overhead and then how much your living is, then how many cars do you need to sell to make that, if you make X amount of dollars in profit per car sale, right? So that's something else we'll walk through in the online workshop, is how much profit you need to make per car sale and you know, how to make that, okay? So then after you have that, so first step, be intentional. Second step, what is this living I'm trying to make? Like, how much am I trying to pay myself? How much am I trying to spend? Third thing, okay, so how many cars do I need to sell to make that, including covering my overhead, right? And then the fourth thing is, how many people do I need on my team to make that? Because let's be real, you can make what you make as a solopreneur, right? Let me back up even further than that. I read a Black Enterprise magazine article years ago, probably like 10, 15 years ago, right? Black Enterprise magazine. And they had this comparison of small businesses and what their earning potential was, or how much they earned when they were solopreneurs, like they were basically the only one working, maybe had some contractor, you know, here and there, versus if they had a team. And as a solopreneur, it was around 100 grand. So I was like, I mean, that sounds good, right? But then as with a team, it was 300 grand plus, right? And, you know, I'm starting to realize, so, you know, quiet is kept. I had said that in a minute. Quiet is kept. I'm starting to realize that 100,000 is like nothing. Okay. It's like, thank God, I'm grateful, it's awesome, but that's like just, that's a step. That is in the process of getting to what you really need to make, okay? So in that magazine, 100,000 solopreneur, 300,000 without, right? Yes, expenses are more, but you can't carry all this money by yourself. You can't do all the things, you can't do all the tasks, and you can't have your business bottlenecked by you. Like, everything has to flow through you before it gets done. That's a sure way to not make what you need to make. Right, gotta have a team. Yes, Jordan could be a legend by himself. He couldn't be, right? Because remember, that's a great point, Judah. Remember when Jordan first joined the Bulls and he was like all showboating and, you know, he was getting the points he was getting and he was doing what he needed to do on the team, but he had not embraced working with his team. And then as they started working together season after season, and he got all those points and they never won a championship, right? They didn't win. But as he started to cultivate his team and work with his team and bring up his other players, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, then the three of them, plus others, got to the championship, because no matter how great he is, and he was on that team, he could not win the championship, right? Good point, Judah. Okay. So that is what I'm saying. No matter how smart you are, no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you hustle, no matter how good you get, you need a team. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna win the championship by yourself. Okay. So nothing 100K is child's play. $1 million is still child's play, right? $1 million is still child's play, but these are stepping stones. So yes, let's get there. And this is how you get there. You get there by selling 1 car, 5 cars, 10 cars, 20 cars. So we don't get there by starting with making $1 million. You got to start with making $1, $100, $1,000, and so on and so forth, right? So be intentional about making a living. What is the living you want to make? How many cars do you need to sell to make that? How many people you need on your team, right? Now you have your break-even point. Now it's time to get started on the new plan, because that is basically the new plan. Is I know what I need. I know what the revenue projections are for my business. So now let me go out as the CEO and make that revenue, because as the CEO, your job is to bring in revenue, period, right? To bring in enough revenue to cover the expenses and the overhead, right? So now you move forward with the new plan. Now it's time to start buying inventory, and inventory set on the path of selling the amount of cars you need to sell to get to where you need to go. Now you start delegating to people on your team, and now you start selling, and then you systemize, right? So you start with the system to begin with the understanding that as you move through that system, things may change. You may tweak here, you may add there, subtract there, and get to whatever works best for you. And then once you systemize, what happens? You get to do it over and over and over again with ease, because now you know exactly what tasks need to be done. You know exactly who's doing it, and you know exactly what indicators show you that it's been done well, it's been done to a certain standard, and you have what you need to grow your business. So are there any questions? Because I said in this video that I was going to ask more questions so I could hear from y'all more, but I did want to get through there. So any questions? I think I've been catching all of the comments. It's like an assembly line, mass production. Yes, you have to create an assembly line kind of process in your business. Every business does, right? And even selling cars, you have to do that, and you can do that. So any questions, anyone, any questions? While I wait for questions, I want to say that I am doing this online workshop, and I think this one is going to be different and better than any other free online workshop. So I definitely want you to register. It's free. All it's required is for you to put in your name, your email address. You'll get an email with the details on how to join. It's going to be in about 2 or 3 weeks. I hadn't set the date, but it's going to be middle March, right? I know that we're in tax season, but tax season is a little delayed-ish this year. So you'll be right on time to really capitalize, if you're already in the business, on the customers coming your way. So definitely make sure that you register for the workshop. I'm excited for the workshop. When is it? By the way, you're doing a great job. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, we all need some encouragement, right? So I don't know exactly when I'm going to do the workshop. I was supposed to pick the date before this video, but I do know it's in 2 or 3 weeks. So it's right in the middle of March. So I will, you will have the date on when you register for the workshop. You'll see the date. Okay, and you'll be able to mark it in your calendar. Okay, like be intentional, right? Intentionality is key. Be intentional about showing up. Mark it in your calendar. Block out the time. Make sure you are not disturbed during this time so you can focus, because this is the plan, y'all. This is the plan. Okay, it's time to stop playing around. It's time to move through this, because I know, like, this is just part of your plan. I already know that growing this business is not your entire plan. This is not the entire empire for you, right? This is just the beginning, or this is just one part of the plan. But you have much more that you are trying to accomplish and that you want to do, and much more wealth that you want to build. But if you can get this systemized and making a living, then it is a strong step to launch the next thing, right? So I already know, you don't have to tell me. So come to the workshop. If you have any questions later that you think about, put them in the comments. And yeah, I guess I will talk to y'all next Wednesday, unless there are any other comments. Was this helpful? Was this helpful? I do need that feedback, because like I said, sometimes I think about these topics and I'm like, is it really that, like, am I really giving the nitty gritty? But I think that that's the nitty gritty. So was this helpful? Let me know. Drop me a yes or a thumbs up or a yes, very helpful. Thank you, Judah. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Francisco. Yes. All right, CEOs, as always, I am here for you. I am rooting for you. I am praying for your success. You know how that song says, I had a praying grandmama? Well, you got a praying mentor that is out here rooting and putting positive energy and all kinds of resources out here for you to use. So take advantage of them and move past whatever you need to move past so you can get to the good part. And I'll see you next week. Bye.